Dave Grohl with Nirvana. Smells Like Teen Spirit. Basically, what he's playing throughout this tune is what's called a boogaloo. Of course, he's doing it all full blast. But a boogaloo is a type of beat that started in the 1960s when drummers started to bring more 16th notes into funk and R&B drumming. This is in 4/4. It says C on your time signature on your transcription. That stands for common time, which is 4/4. Most music is in 4/4. But to feel this boogaloo right, I mentioned 16th notes, and they got to know how to count and feel 16th notes. 4/4, the time signature stands for 4 beats per measure. Quarter note gets a beat. That's what those two fours mean. So here's the quarter notes. They get the beat. So they count like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Eighth notes go 2 to a quarter note. So we break that subdivision in half. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 16th notes go 4 to a quarter note. So we have to put E and a between the numbers. That's 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1. So you want to know about that and feel that on that small subdivision level so that you're playing those things accurately so they push the music forward appropriately. A lot of times I hear young drummers play these things and the 16th notes are not always quite accurate. They're just kind of squeezing them, right? And you need to have them really, really solid to make this stuff work. So now that you know how to count 16th notes, let's see how that applies to this boogaloo type beat. And a boogaloo in the 60s would have those extra added 16th notes. It's probably quieter notes, what we call ghost notes now. It might have 8th notes on the cymbal rather than the quarter note drive that Dave Grohl gives it. So that would sound something like this. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. Right? So the backbeats are still big, ghost notes a little bit quieter. So Dave changes that up and gives it a little more a harder drive and makes it fit in Nirvana by doing a quarter note right on the hi-hat rather than the 8th notes. And he does it on a sloshy hi-hat. You still have to feel those 16th notes to play accurately, but we got a quarter note going over here. Instead of this, we got. So let's put it all together with the bass drum. It sounds like this: 3E and a 4E and. So if you look down at the bottom of the page, you'll see he changes this with one more flavor of ride pattern. He takes the ride pattern off the hi-hat and puts it onto the crash cymbal with the quarter notes, which you see a lot of metal drummers do, and it's a real standard of grunge drumming. And that sounds like this: 2, 3, 4. Right? So you can do a lot of things with ride patterns. That same beat, we played it with 8th notes, we played it with quarter notes, we played it on the hi-hat, that is, and we played it with quarter notes up here. So this is the meat and potatoes. And then this is the seasoning, or you're going to make stew, or you're going to make curry, or you're going to make chili. You can change it up by what you do with the ride pattern. It's real powerful. Another thing to note here is that if you look at the third line of that first page, it looks like it goes into a really simple groove, just boom, boom, pap. Like the bass drum on 1 and 3 and, snare drum on 2, 4. So we got this 3 and 4 and. But that's not the whole picture. It's a 2-measure cycle by him putting what I call a shoop, opening the hi-hat and hitting with the shoulder, on the and of 4 of the second measure. Then we get this 2-measure cycle. Sounds like this: 3 and 4 and. It gives it a little bit of a compositional quality and a little 2-measure cycle that has a call and response. This is the call. The response is. Your mind starts to expect that after you hear it a few times, and so it sucks the listener in a little bit more. So look for those two measure little cycles. You see them in a lot of these tunes. A lot of great drummers do that stuff. And think about the seasoning you can put on a particular groove. If you know a groove, use it a lot of different ways. Move your right hand around, see what else you can get. And make sure your 16th notes are subdivided really equally and help to propel the groove and not slop up and put the groove out of focus, as I sometimes say. If you get those little 16th notes, they're almost right, but it's not quite right, then how does the next musician line up with that? So make sure your groove is in focus so they can see that picture clearly and line up with you.